Over the years, you've heard officials promise to hold more drunk drivers accountable after they've been arrested.
But when it comes to moving cases through the court system, many of the slam dunk cases are still getting dismissed left and right. KRQE News 13 investigative reporter Ann Perrette shows you why.
That was the guy that was laying in the street right here.
A crash that killed a man crossing the street.
Earlier, a few beers. You feel okay driving?
Yeah. Don't go inside. Cecil, listen to me. Hey.
An officer punched while making an arrest. Complete disregard for rules of the road.
I don't know what's wrong with it. It won't stop.
Well, you're missing a tire. That's what's wrong with it.
Chaos created by drunk drivers.
Put your hands behind your back.
Drivers arrested, but not always punished.
If you were drinking and driving, the odds are you weren't going to be caught or convicted.
A statement the district attorney's office has been working to disprove. As part of that effort, a deputy DA started tracking DWI convictions and dismissals in Bernalillo County. The data does show an increase in the percentage of convictions each year, but hundreds of drunk drivers are still let off the hook. You might be surprised why.
In 2018, the Albuquerque Police, Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office, and State Police caught 2,521 people driving drunk. But by 2020, because of the pandemic, bar closures, and continued police officer shortages, the number of DWI arrests plummeted by more than 600. That smaller caseload led to a spike in the percentage of convictions from 56% in 2018 to 67% in 2020. But that still leaves a third of the cases. While some of them are dragging along in court, most have been dismissed. We obtained the Bernalillo County DA's office data that breaks down the reasons why. That data puts the blame on police officers. Depending on the police agency and the year, up to 77% of dismissals are attributed to the arresting officer failing to follow through on the case. Judges can dismiss a case if an officer doesn't complete a pretrial interview, turn over evidence, or show up to court.
It's frustrating. If I lose cases on the merits because somebody is found to be not guilty or acquitted on a charge, I can always live with that. Losing cases on technicalities, that's a problem.
As the main DWI prosecutor in the county, Joshua Boone knows the frustration of cases falling through the cracks all too well.
If we get a case where discovery has been turned over, the officers have conducted their interviews, and they show up to court, we're convicting at about an 89% rate. We don't lose those cases.
89% of drunk drivers held accountable if everyone does their job. A statement the police agencies took issue with. And when I asked them about the DA's data, they each disputed the numbers.
If the data we have is correct,
once you start digging into these, I think it's a little more nuanced.
But it doesn't take into consideration all the outside, factors and forces that make those numbers up.
Tomorrow night, my conversation with each of those departments about those factors and forces and what changes they're asking for to make those cases easier on their officers. Ann Perrette, KRQE Investigates.
The dismissal rates are even more alarming when you consider how much smaller the DWI caseload is in Bernalillo County these days. 15 years ago, there were more than 7,000 DWI arrests in the county, most of them in Albuquerque, about triple what we are seeing right now.